Our December premiere auction in Bedford, Texas has an amazing selection of Colts, Winchesters, and other fine arms. But our World War II selection of military intelligence and OSS items just blows me away because some of these items are extremely rare and never seen before. First off, we cannot do a World War II offering without the FP45 Liberator or the Woolworth gun. This one right here is probably one of the nicest ones that I've seen, not because of the quality of the gun, but everything that is included with it. This has the original waxed papered box, the pistol itself, the sealed ammunition, the little wooden rod, and the loading instructions. This is probably one of the nicest Liberators out there right now. Now for the 1903 collector, we have a very, very special setup right here. This is from the collection of Mr. Tom Selleck. This is a 1903 Colt that was shipped to the Pentagon, G2, which is Military Intelligence Service. Now, of all of the 1903s that were shipped, which was 16,900, 2,928 went to OSS, but only 604 went to G2. This is an extremely nice piece. Now, included with the 1903 is this extremely rare shoulder holster. These were made by Textan in Texas, and there was only 1,704 of these shoulder holsters made. They were issued to OSS, others to G2 MIS, Military Intelligence Service, as well as some general officers ordered these. Now, these weren't issued out to general officers. They had to be requested by the general, and they had to know that they were available. And so not a lot of these went out to them. Now, these are made of an extremely thin, unlined leather, and that incurred some complaints from the users because they would tear. So OSS requested a heavier holster by Textan that's a little thicker leather and also had a spring steel retaining clip that grabbed a hold of the gun and kept it from falling out. Finding these in this condition is very, very hard. And with the gun, this is an amazing setup for a collector that is ready right here. This is a super nice collection that I would love to have myself. Now, next is the OSS Stiletto made by LF&C. There were only 10,000 of these produced. Now, while this may look like a FS knife, the Firebrand Sykes knife, this is quite a bit different. If you'll notice, the blade is longer and thinner here towards the point, and your grip right here is knurled all the way down instead of partially down. Now, these are hard to come by in this condition because a lot of them, due to the hardness of the steel, which is around a 57, 58 brittle hardness, it made it hard and it made it retain a sharp edge, but it was brittle. So a lot of these broke off and have been sharpened down. Now, with the Stiletto, you notice that this has a super sharp point right here. These were nice and sharp, but they weren't made for cutting and slicing. They were pretty much just stabbing. They'd grab the enemy, pull them against the knife, and then do a little bit of a thrust right there. You didn't want to reach out because you can always have that blocked. The next would grab it, come in behind the jugular, shove it through both sides, and then push it out. Close combat is a very nasty thing, and these were not to be used as a primary weapon. Always use this as a last resort. Now, your sheath right here, this is what they called the pancake flipper because LF&C was a kitchen utensil maker, and they were using the dies of some of their spatulas to make this sheath. Now, some of these were modified in the field. They had these edges clipped off where they just run the belt through here, but this one right here still retains the full shape. Now, you'll see a little bit of a curve right here because this is thin steel. Run your belt through, and then you would shape it to the side of your waist. It didn't stay out flat all the time. This has a leather sheath right here, and then your rubber O-ring is what would retain it in place, just like that. These are extremely hard to come by, and this is a great OSS collectible right here. Now, varying over to some different but extremely rare collectibles are these OSS items right here. We have two PWD, which is the Psychological Warfare Division. Next is this SSI, which is the shoulder sleeve insignia. And then this bullion insignia right here that is on this wool piece. Now, the PWD was located in London, England, at the Supreme Headquarters of Allied Expeditionary Forces. It was comprised of 3 groups. It was the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, the OWI, Office of Warfare Information, as well as the British PWE, which was the Political Warfare Executive. So Donovan come up with a design for some collar devices for the PWD guys. You'll see there's 2 different ones right here. Now this one right here has 2 clutch pins on it, and this one right here has a screw back type. There were a little over 400 of these ordered, and this one right here with the screw on it was manufactured by Robbins and is marked on the back. Now these are very rarely seen. There's only around a little over 400 of those made, and however many of those are still in existence is pretty slim. Now the shoulder sleeve patch right here, this is extremely rare. Donovan kind of went out on a limb and ordered 195 of these, anticipating them being approved by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Well, they showed up and the Joint Chiefs nixed it, so he's kind of left there holding the bag. So he sent them up to Philadelphia to the Quartermaster Depot, and they stayed there until the 1950s whenever they were destroyed. But thankfully, some inventive GI grabbed some, and there's one right here, and this is an extremely rare patch. This is rarer than the Alamo Scouts patch. Now you will see some that are fakes, and the best way to look is here on the back. You'll see how this is nice and embroidered. Fakes will look like a gauze across here. And the shape of it is uniform. It's a beautifully shaped spearhead. Fakes, it's just like looking at a Rolex. This thing pops. This is just a super cool piece. And now we have another PWD bullion insignia that was possibly on a coat. This is on wool right here. Now this is more likely an unauthorized item, but that was with OSS. A lot of their patches were unauthorized because they were done on a local level. Now for a deep dive into these, please check out Les Hughes' website, insignia.org. He has everything detailed out on these, the rarity of them. I mean, Les is the guy on this stuff right here. He's pretty much like a Kopek letter to Colt, and the information that he has, we just cannot cover in our video right here. And in our last selection here, we have another great lot of OSS items. Now, I've picked out 3 of my favorites from that because there are so many to choose from, but these are my personal favorites right here. 2 are these Chinese paratroop commando badges right here. Now, each one of these was numbered on the back and was logged into who they were issued to. And many of these have been tracked back to the OSS members who were wearing these. These are more extremely rare and great pieces. And this last tiny little piece right here is the OSS badge. Members of the OSS after the war were offered this whenever Donovan sent them a letter of thanks for being in the OSS and thank you for what you did to save our country. OSS never had a issued badge, an issued emblem, but those who were in the OSS could have this little pin right here as a show of honor to the duty that they served to this country. There you have it. These are my absolute favorite items of the December premiere auction. Be sure to stop in at Bedford, Texas. Check everything out on Thursday on our preview day, and then you can come in and bid live there on site Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if you can't make it in to Bedford, Texas, be sure to check it out at rockislandauction.com and place your bids there.